So currently in the game, we have 5 attributes and each of them have different anomaly effect. And as you may already know, we have 2 stats that related to this. First is the Anomaly Mastery, which is how much the anomaly build-up increase from attribute related attack. And the second is the Anomaly Proficiency, which affect how strong is the anomaly effect itself. You can see in this example, having higher Anomaly Proficiency directly increasing the damage of the anomaly. But let me show you this clip. As you can see over here, Piper has 340 Anomaly Proficiency and around 1.4k attack. Now let's try to proc the anomaly effect. As you can see over here, we have enemy that's at max anomaly build up. And let's see how much assault damage we can get from this. So it's about 28.5k. Let's remember this number and try to see how much assault damage we get from agent with lower Anomaly Proficiency. Now, we're using Nekomata that only has 150 Anomaly Proficiency but still has around the same attack with Piper. Let's see how much assault damage that we can get. What is going on? Even though Nekomata has far less Anomaly Proficiency, the assault that she proc is the exact same damage with the assault that Piper's proc. So that's one of the things that I want to explain in this video, along with the other things about Anomaly that you may not know. On top of that, I will also explain why some of these stuffs about Anomaly will matter to improve your knowledge to utilize the disorder mechanic. Now, let's jump into the discussion. First thing, let's learn about how to trigger anomalies. So, when the anomaly build-up is reaching max, the agent that has the same attribute can trigger the anomaly. Anomaly Proficiency determines how strong the effect of the anomaly is. This is true. But what most people get this wrong is that which agent max the anomaly build-up is the one that determines how strong the anomalies are, not the one that triggers them. This is exactly the case with the previous clip that I showed you. The reason that Nekomata's assault has the same damage as Piper's assault is because the one that maxed the anomaly build-up is actually Piper. It is also the same case if you are doing it with the other attribute. When the one maxed the anomaly build-up has higher Anomaly Proficiency, the damage from the anomaly effect will also increase. But unfortunately, due to the lack of information that can be shown, there are certain things that are still currently unknown about how the Anomaly Proficiency affects unique anomaly effects, such as how much of a day's build-up rate increases from the Flinch effect and how much increased crit damage to the enemies from Frostbite. Still, knowing this is especially really important in a mono-attribute team that has an anomaly agent or just the agent that has higher Anomaly Proficiency, because you would want to have that anomaly effect to also contribute damage to the enemies. So if you see the non-anomaly agent almost maxing the anomaly build-up, you can switch to the anomaly agent to continue the build-up. Then afterward, it doesn't really matter what triggers it. The time that which agent triggers it will matter is when you have 2 attributes team composition and is trying to utilize disorder mechanic. So just like how to trigger chain attack, anomaly requires the active character to trigger it. As you can see over here, even though the build-up is at max, it's not being triggered. But why is this important to know? So we know that disorder damage follows the first anomaly that is being applied to the enemy, which means you wouldn't want to trigger the weaker attribute anomaly first because the disorder damage will be weaker too. But using the swap mechanic, you can have more control on which anomaly that you want to trigger to the enemy first, which will then give you the benefit of having high disorder damage by dealing the weaker anomaly afterward. Also need to be remembered, if you haven't known this yet, all anomaly effects have a total duration of 10 seconds. By using the swap mechanic, you can avoid triggering strong anomaly way too early when the anomaly build-up of the other attribute is still far from max. Then again, when they both almost reaching max, you can use the swap mechanic to trigger the strong anomaly first. Of course, this won't be the case if you are having a disorder-oriented team where you have 2 anomaly agents that also have high Anomaly Proficiency. For this, it will not matter which anomaly is being applied first, the disorder damage will still be really high. Lastly, about anomaly triggers mechanic, if you can see over here, trying to apply the same anomaly after previous anomaly triggered, we know that triggering anomaly has an ICD of 3 seconds, and if you think about it, it is actually a low cooldown period and actually proves that anomaly-based team is viable team composition. Specifically for a team like monophysical attribute will be the one that can benefit most from this, especially when you have two physical anomaly agents. This team will be able to constantly deal massive assault damage over and over again that you might even defeat the enemies before you max their dazed bar. And apparently, the same thing can be said about this order-oriented team. Since Anomaly has an ICD of 3 seconds, it's also the same with Disorder's ICD since it follows the anomaly being triggered. Which is really huge, because let's say that you have a physical ice disorder-oriented team with anomaly agents from its attribute, you will gain so much damage and survivability from the effect of the anomalies themselves. And also, do you know that when the enemy being freezed during dazed and or stunned states, the dazed and stunned duration will also be freezed, which again further increase the value of the team. This way, if the enemies aren't being freezed, they will be receiving the massive damage from assault and disorder. This exact disorder-oriented team might become the strongest team available in the future. The second best disorder-oriented team might be an Electric Ether attribute. But this one is more suitable when you have a low anomaly build-up rate and slower combat tempo, because then you will still be able to gain benefit from the anomaly effect on top of the disorder, which are the additional electric and ether damage when you hit the enemies. However, in my opinion, playing around disorder will always be really good when you involve physical attribute. You can always just use any other attributes to help trigger the massive assault disorder combination damage. But the real question is, how strong are they compared to a normal crit-based team? So what we have known by this point, how strong of an anomaly is being affected by anomaly proficiency, but there are actually so many ways to increase the strength of anomaly effects. Let me show you this clip. First, we're going to max the anomaly build-up with Nekomata, and then we're going to check the stat that Nekomata has. As you can see over here, Nekomata has around 1.4k attack and 120 anomaly proficiency. We're going to see how much the assault damage is going to be, and we're going to use that as base assault damage. So it's around 11.7k. And I'm going to use this base assault damage and do some testing about the things that might affect how strong the assault will be. Upon the first test, it showed that having a higher attack can also increase the assault damage. And attack buff from Shokaku also apparently increasing the assault damage as well. Lastly, if you see in this clip, multipliers on enemies such as dazed and stunned states also apparently increase the damage of the anomaly, which means disorder damage will also hugely increase when all of the things that can buff anomaly is being utilized. So, what do you think? Will building team around anomaly effects like mono anomaly team and disorder-oriented team be a very strong team composition? Thank you for watching. Hit that subscribe and bell notification for my future contents. Like it if you like this video, and I'll see you in the next one.